250 families in Moncton, Canada, just got a phone call that changed their lives. The ExxonMobil call center, it's closing down. Mortgage payments, tuition fees, the groceries on the table, suddenly all uncertain. Now, if this was just about Exxon, it would be a tragedy for that community. But it's not. It's Scotiabank laying off thousands as part of their strategic plan. It's Nestle restructuring. It's Imperial Oil cutting jobs. It's Crown Royal shutting down its bottling plant. It's EV factories closing their doors just months after opening. This isn't just news anymore. This is a pattern. People are calling it the Canadian layoffs, and it feels like a wave washing over the country. This video isn't about analyzing carbon tax policies or dissecting corporate balance sheets. This video is about the human cost when the systems we trusted start to crumble. But more importantly, we're going to talk about what comes next. When the Canadian dream feels like it's dead, who is going to rebuild it? The answer might surprise you. Human cost. The crisis is real. Let's be honest. It's getting harder out there. You feel it, don't you? That constant, low-level anxiety about the future. The paycheck that doesn't stretch as far as it used to. The headlines that seem to get bleaker every single day. This isn't just in your head. The crisis is real, and the cost is measured in human lives. Consider the new unemployed. Think about the story we heard in that original video, the job seeker in Calgary. I'm a generalist. I'm going to be competing with all these people. These aren't lazy people. These aren't unskilled people. These are educated, experienced workers who did everything they were told to do. They got the degree. They climbed the corporate ladder. They played by the rules. And now, the ladder's been kicked out from under them. They're your neighbors. They're your friends. They could be you. The pattern is undeniable. Scotiabank, Nestle, Imperial Oil, Titan Tools, Stellantis, GM. These aren't small startups failing. These are pillars of the Canadian economy. And they are shedding jobs, not because they're struggling globally, but because something is fundamentally broken here, in Canada. And what about upskilling? Just learn a new skill, they say. Easy to say when you have a paycheck. But as that job seeker pointed out, yeah, I want to upskill, but I don't have any money. It's a cruel catch-22. You need money to learn the skills to make money, but you have no money because you don't have the skills the market suddenly demands. This isn't just about individual job losses. It's about the erosion of the middle class. It's about the promise of a stable life earned through hard work, evaporating before our eyes. Then there's what I call the lost generation. The original video mentioned how layoffs often hit younger staff the hardest. The data confirms this. Youth unemployment in Canada, for those aged 15 to 24, has been hovering around a staggering 14.5%. That's nearly double the national average. Think about what this means. We are actively choking off the intake of new talent, as one expert put it. A whole generation is graduating from universities and colleges, saddled with unprecedented debt, only to enter a job market that has slammed the door in their face. These are the digital natives. They grew up with technology. They understand AI. They have diverse backgrounds and incredible life experiences. They are exactly the kind of talent Canada should be desperately trying to keep. But where are the opportunities? They watch their parents struggle. They see the headlines. They feel the anxiety. Buying a house? Forget about it. Starting a family? Seems impossible. The Canadian dream. For many young people, it feels like a cruel joke. A promise made by a previous generation that this generation simply cannot cash in. And this isn't just about individual futures. It's about the future of the country. If you hollow out your young talent, if you force them to leave or languish in underemployment, who will build the Canada of tomorrow? This brings us to the broader societal meltdown. The most shocking statistic from the original video, the one that should send chills down everyone's spine, was this: more people at food banks than in the military. Let's be precise here, because the reality is staggering enough without exaggeration. The number of visits to food banks across Canada each month now exceeds the total number of personnel in the entire Canadian Armed Forces, regular and reserve combined. Think about that. We have reached a point where monthly visits for basic food necessities outnumber the entire defense force of the nation. This isn't an economic indicator. This is a moral failing. It's a sign of widespread desperation. And it's not just the unemployed. It's taxi drivers protesting because they can't afford the cost of living. It's teachers striking for fair wages that keep up with inflation. It's families everywhere making agonizing choices between heating their homes and putting food on the table. This isn't just an energy crisis anymore. This isn't just a job market crisis. This is a full-blown cost of living crisis, a housing crisis, a healthcare crisis, all converging into what feels like a full-scale national meltdown. We worked hard. We played by the rules. We built this country. And now, for so many, the basics are slipping out of reach. The anxiety is palpable. The frustration is real. The human cost is undeniable. System failed, transition point. So how did we get here? How did a country with such immense resources, such incredible talent, find itself in this position? The simple, uncomfortable truth is this: the system has failed. The old social contract is broken. What was that contract? It was an unspoken agreement. You go to school, you get a good education, you find a job, maybe with a big stable company. You work hard, you show loyalty, and in return, the company provides security, a steady paycheck, benefits, maybe a pension. The government, in theory, provides a stable environment for that company to thrive, for those jobs to exist. That contract, it's been torn up. It doesn't reflect the harsh reality of 2025. The two main pillars that upheld that contract have crumbled. Pillar number one, the government. As the original video powerfully argued, years of policies driven more by ideology than economic reality have created an unstable, unpredictable, and often hostile environment for business. Endless regulations, carbon taxes that punish domestic production, political signals that demonize entire industries. They haven't protected jobs. They've chased them away. Pillar number two, big corporations. Faced with this unstable environment, what are they doing? ExxonMobil, ScotiaBank, Nestle, Imperial Oil. They are doing the only logical thing from a purely business perspective. They are restructuring. They are cutting costs. They are moving operations to places where it's easier, cheaper, and more predictable to do business. They are not loyal to Canada. They are loyal to their shareholders, to their bottom line. And frankly, can you blame them? So here we stand. The government isn't creating the conditions for prosperity. The big corporations aren't providing the security they once promised. The old system, the one we were taught to trust, it's failing us. Waiting for Ottawa to fix its mistakes? That feels like a losing strategy. Waiting for global CEOs to suddenly prioritize Canadian jobs out of the goodness of their hearts? That feels naive. They are not coming to save us. So, who will? Who is left? The pivot, the real solution. There's a line deep in the original video that cuts through all the anger and frustration. It's easy to miss, buried under the outrage. But it might be the most important message of all. The speaker says, the government's not going to do it. We are. The people. The people need to rise up and get to work. Now, rise up sounds like a call for protest, for revolution. But that's not what he meant. He explicitly says, don't protest, don't get mad, don't point fingers. Just get to work. This isn't a call for political upheaval. It's a call for something far more radical, far more powerful in this broken system. It's a call for personal action. It's a call to build. This is the critical pivot. This is the 30% added value we need to focus on. The shift from diagnosing the problem, the failed system, to embracing the solution, individual and community resilience. How do we redefine this crisis? Listen again to that insight. Canada is the best place to be for entrepreneurs because we have a ton of problems. This is the massive mindset shift. What is a problem really? In the context of a struggling economy, a problem isn't just a source of pain. A problem is a gap, a need unmet, a frustration shared by many. And what is that? That is a business opportunity in disguise. This isn't about becoming the next tech billionaire. Forget that fantasy. This is about something much more fundamental. It's about solving problems right here, right now, in your own community. Think about the problems we just discussed. Problem number one, the crushing cost of living. Everything is expensive. People are cutting back. What are the opportunities? Businesses focused on value and efficiency. Think repair services instead of replacement. Can you fix appliances, electronics, clothing? There's a huge market for that now. Think local food initiatives, community gardens, small co-ops, connecting local farmers directly with consumers to cut out the middleman. Think affordable home energy solutions, helping people weatherize their homes, install smart thermostats, find ways to cut those crippling utility bills. Think community-based care, affordable child care, elder care services run by local people for local people. These aren't glamorous, perhaps, but they are needed. They solve real pain. Problem number two, unstable supply chains. We learned during the pandemic that relying on goods shipped halfway across the world is fragile. What are the opportunities? Local everything. Micro-manufacturing. Can you 3D print a needed part? Can you build high-quality furniture locally? Urban farming, vertical farms, rooftop gardens. Finding ways to grow food closer to where people live. Efficient last-mile delivery. Getting goods from local producers to local consumers quickly and affordably. Anyone who can make something here or source something here, instead of relying on complex global chains, has a massive advantage right now. Problem number three, a laid-off skilled workforce. Engineers, IT specialists, project managers, skilled tradespeople, suddenly finding themselves out of work. What are the opportunities? The rise of the independent professional? The gig economy, yes, but more than that. Think small, specialized consulting firms, that laid-off oil and gas engineer. Their expertise is still incredibly valuable globally. They can start a niche consultancy, working remotely, serving clients anywhere in the world. Think platforms that connect local skills with local needs. A community marketplace for plumbers, electricians, graphic designers, writers, tutors. The talent is there. It's just disconnected from the opportunity. The business is in making that connection. This requires a fundamental shift in mindset. This requires what I call the self-reliance mindset. This isn't some new age philosophy. This is old school. This is the pioneer spirit that built Canada in the first place. The spirit that didn't wait for permission, didn't wait for a handout. It saw a problem, saw a need, and built the solution. We need to stop waiting for someone else to give us a job. We need to start creating our own value. Real security in the 21st century doesn't come from a corporate payroll department. It comes from your own skills, your own adaptability, your own willingness to learn, to pivot, and to solve problems. This is how the people rise up, not by tearing things down in anger, but by building things up with purpose. It starts small, a side hustle, fixing things for neighbors, selling produce at a local market, registering a business name, maybe eventually hiring that neighbor who just got laid off. This isn't easy. It requires courage. It requires grit, but it's the only path forward that puts you back in control. Conclusion and resonance loop. The headlines are scary. Exxon, ScotiaBank, Nestle, layoffs, closures, restructuring. They are real. The pain is real. And yes, they are proof that the old system, the one we depended on, is fundamentally broken. But that is not the end of the story. It is simply the necessary, painful end of an old chapter. The real story isn't the inevitable collapse. The real story is the choice we have right now. We can sit in the wreckage, point fingers, and wait for a rescue that isn't coming, or we can become the builders of the next chapter. The story is the opportunity for us, ordinary people, frustrated workers, aspiring entrepreneurs, problem solvers in our communities, to build something new, something resilient, something local, something that serves real human needs. If the old system is failing, we must start building the new one, from the ground up. In our next video, we're going to get practical. We'll share 3 specific, Low-cost business ideas you can start in Canada today. Ideas designed not just to help you survive this crisis, but to actually start building your own future on your own terms. But this brings us to the heart of the matter. This is a challenging, uncertain time for so many. I feel it too. Are you feeling stuck? Are you waiting, hoping the old system will somehow fix itself? Or do you believe, like I do, that the real solution now lies in our own hands? In the power of ordinary people, small entrepreneurs, and our communities coming together to get to work and build what comes next? Share your story, your fears, or your ideas for solutions in the comments below. We need to hear from each other right now. We need to support each other because the builders are us.